What's up everybody, it's Devin from Head Up Throttle Down. As you can see, this is not the Jeep. I recently purchased this brand new 2024 Colorado ZR2 and I'm going to be doing an overland build on it. I have about 3,000 kilometers on this truck so far, and I think it's a perfect time to tell you my initial impressions, the things I absolutely love about this truck, and the things that I think Chevy could maybe do a little bit better, improve in coming years, or even maybe with just some software updates. You know, I've honestly been in love with the Colorado platform for a long time now. I love the Gen 2s, and when the Gen 3 came out, I fell in love with the way this vehicle looks. And I think it's going to be the perfect overlanding platform for me going out on long extended adventures with or without my family. I just want to take a quick moment to thank anybody who's watching this video, and especially those of you who decided to subscribe. Whether you're an avid off-roader like me, or you're just here to see somebody's weird dad have a midlife crisis on the internet, whatever brings you here, thank you very much. Enough chit chat, let's get into the review. So unlike most videos on YouTube, I'm not going to drone on for 7 minutes, leading you on, making you think I hate the truck, when in truth I really love it. I'm going to give you my honest opinion up front. And my honest opinion is that I absolutely love this truck. It's meeting my expectations, and the more I drive it, it's actually surpassing them. First thing we have to talk about is obviously what really makes a ZR2 is the Multimatic shocks. These shocks are not a semi-active or smart shock system that you would find on a lot of like the higher end vehicles, you know, those Baja running trucks, but they share a lot of positive characteristics with those by simply being able to kind of adapt to the terrain you're driving on. And I don't know exactly how it works. I haven't done too much research into it, but I'm assuming there's some sort of, you know, complex valving system within the shock itself that, based on the impact it receives, allows a certain amount of oil to flow and, you know, reduces the impact. And I think it's really cool that they've actually been able to manage to get some of the characteristics of a smart shock without all the other things that go along with it, because smart shock systems are great, but there's also a lot of things that can go wrong with them. You have, you know, a CPU for controlling the shock, you have all the wires that's sending data, there's, you know, a plethora of sensors. So I think it is really incredible, and I don't know exactly how they did it, but you know, whatever terrain I seem to be driving on, this shock can handle it. I would describe the ride as firm, but it's not harsh ever. On-road and off-road characteristics can just be described simply as like well planted. Like, it feels stable, it feels capable, and this is all from a shock that doesn't have a computer running it. So really well done. So this vehicle has a 2.7 liter turbocharged V4, and I know that's gonna sound unexciting, especially to the like, oh, I need a V8 crowd, but bad news is this seems to be the general way that vehicles are heading these days. And honestly, this engine is good for 310 horse, but 440 foot-pounds of torque, which is quite incredible for how much this vehicle weighs. The transmission is like an 8-speed automatic, and it's really good. There's seldom times that I've, you know, seen the transmission hunting for gears. It always seems to know exactly where it needs to be and what to do. And the other cool thing is there is a plethora of drive modes in this vehicle. So when you switch it into, say, Baja mode, the transmission goes into like a performance shift mode where it'll keep the RPMs higher and allow that turbo to be spooled up so that the power is more instantaneous. And it all works really good. The 2.7 liter has plenty of power, And if you're not expecting, you know, like a throaty, deep V8, it actually sounds pretty good. Like it's quiet for when you're just driving around town, but when you actually get on the throttle, it makes a pretty good noise. I'm going to use that segue to quickly talk about one of the things that I kind of think was missed or potentially could be added with a software update, or, you know, to the next iterations of the 2025 or 2026 of this Colorado model, is a fuel economy mode. So I've actually been getting really good fuel economy, considering I'm pushing around 33-inch tires, you know, aggressive mud terrain tires. I've got this huge hunk of metal that my rooftop tent's going on that is not aerodynamic. I've been averaging, I would say, under 14 liters per 100 kilometers. And that is definitely less than the 16 across the board they advertise for this thing. Given that this vehicle does have like a pretty good power to weight ratio, it's really easy for you to get bad fuel economy if you're not paying attention and you're not being diligent about that. And for me, like, you know, I'm just an average dude, like probably, or dudette, like whoever you are watching this, and fuel economy is getting more and more important. If you want to go on like a big overlanding adventure, it's nice to have, you know, horsepower, good throttle response when you're on the trail, but when you're driving from a location to location, you might just want to save some money. So I'm surprised that they didn't add a drive mode that is solely focused on preserving fuel economy. About some of the tech features about this truck, because I absolutely love them, and it's a huge upgrade from my 2007 Wrangler JK, which I absolutely love, don't get me wrong, but there is something to be said about technological progression. So the infotainment system is really great. It's very intuitive. The screen is huge and beautiful, very responsive. You know, there's not a bunch of lag. The other thing that I think is really cool is your driver gauges are all customizable, and I really like how you can change your gauges out to what you want them to be, and then you can actually bring your map up on here. I think that's like a super cool feature. I'll show you the drive modes really quick. So there's a cool picture of your truck doing all the different things in the drive modes. I wanted to show you the cameras. So this is a big deal for me because I off-road solo a lot, and I'm not always necessarily going to have somebody with me who can spot me. And so these cameras, you know, they're not as good as a spotter, but they definitely improve your ability to navigate, you know, over rocks, check your ground clearance, see where your wheels are lining up. They're all very, very crystal clear, and it's super cool because they can actually clean themselves. We all know that the engineers at Chevy know what they're doing and that they are very smart cats, but I honestly just think that I don't know what was up with this, and let me show you this. There is a express down all your windows. That's super awesome, right? Like you can, you know, you're off-roading, you're cruising, you want to put all your windows down. Awesome. But for some reason, there's no express up. And it actually drives me wild that you have to like monkey grip all of these switches to put your windows back up. You know, why wouldn't they just program it? Like, I understand if it's a one-way switch, but just program it so that like a double tap would do them back up, or when you get to the bottom you can double tap them and put all the wheels back up. So Chevy, if you can do anything about that in a software update, I know it's a really small point, but it drives me up the wall. All right, everybody, I think that is enough listening to me talk for today. Like I said, this isn't like a comprehensive deep dive into this vehicle. I've only got 3,000 kilometers on it, and I honestly just wanted to give you guys my initial impression as like a real owner about this vehicle. And to summarize, this truck is awesome. Everything that I've thrown at it, it's eaten up, laughed in my face, and asked for more. It's just wow. There's a whole bunch of off-road features like tech-wise, aids for off-roading, navigation, overlanding that I haven't shown to you, but I'll show it to you guys at a later date. I really just wanted to show you, my initial thoughts on this vehicle, and I am absolutely in love with it. So if you guys want to see progression of the overlanding build that I'm going to be doing on this, I plan to be building it up really fast. I have some crazy adventures planned that I'll be doing into like an overlanding series. I also have my UTV off-roading series, as well as my off-road 101. So if you guys are, new to the off-roading scene and you want to get a little bit more information about things you might need on the trail, go check those out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep your head up and that throttle down.